I'll go ahead. I think it's like maybe 4 or 5 lines. I'll run through it all to get to the end, and then we'll do final thoughts. So it goes on here to say, but in Rudsell's case, the majority of justices said that he should have been able to access about 10 months of his Montgomery GI Bill benefits to attend Yale. In his dissent, Justice Thomas said Rudsell clearly forfeited his remaining Montgomery GI Bill support when he opted for the more generous post 9/11 GI Bill benefits, making his case moot.
Okay,
And
so
then
there was a dissent, so I stand corrected on that.
in his dissent,
Yeah, so
Thomas.
it wasn't an extension. It was a dissent.
Oh,
So
yeah. Abstain, dissent,
Randy
whatever.
was
Yeah,
wrong.
you're right.
It was a dissent.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're
So,
good.
yeah. So dissent. So in his dissent. So, which, you know, I'll save mine for last. About his dissent, Thomas. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, it seems it's the whole purpose that this thing was there is that you're forced to make this decision that you shouldn't legally have to make. So here your feet are at the fire. You have to make a decision, and because you had your feet on the fire and had to make that decision, that makes your case moot. No, I mean, what are your thoughts, Randy?
Well, I mean, let's take it out of the world of education and just apply common sense to objects or things we purchase in our lives. In one example, I can pay over time for 12 months for a red Nissan, and I opt to do that. And then later, I'm given the option to earn a blue Nissan through service. At the end, I would expect to have both my red Nissan and my blue Nissan and not have to choose between the two. And really, if you boil this thing down to the simplest version of itself, that's what the VA said. At the end of the day, they said, no, you paid for both in some form or fashion, either through service or through money, but you only get one car. And I can understand where, the James, the plaintiff in this case, was frustrated with that because, he transacted or earned through either money or through service, two different benefits. Now there's some limitations, concurrency of usage and 48 months, but I get where they're coming from. And I think the Supreme Court got this one right. Chris, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to come back to, I understand if I'm looking at it from a corporate perspective, and I certainly understand that argument where you opted into this new program, therefore forfeiting the previous program. But what I don't know enough about is whether or not the benefit that was earned was rolled into the new program. In other words, did you get enhanced benefits in the post 9/11 as a result of being in the Montgomery? I don't know the answer to that question. And my guess is the answer is clearly no. You were told that you could stay in the old plan or join the new one, which therefore, if you join the new one, you had these earned benefits taken away from you. And that's not right.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the whole point of this was that veterans, service members and or veterans were being forced to make a decision that legally wasn't even possible to have to be made. And I think that the VA got it wrong. The VA, their interpretation was wrong, which goes back to that quote from the American Legion, which was great. So, with that, I think that, obviously, anytime there's a benefit for veterans that comes into play in a good way, I agree with it. So it really doesn't matter. Even if they got it wrong, they got it right. So I think that they did get this one right. I'm very happy about it. And I'm really curious to see how this is going to unfold for the veteran community here as we move forward. With that, let's go ahead and end it here. We really appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.